No, dude, I don't believe it. I know you said that this 3D printer will print me a whole pew and it'll be 100% ready to go. I don't, there's no way. Dude, it's metal and plastic. You're telling me you can do it. All right, dude, you want me to just try it? All right, I'm gonna do it. I got the file and everything you told me to look, and I got it all in there. We gonna run it, all right? If it ain't, I'm gonna call you a liar. All right, man. All right, it's starting. We'll see.
Many unbearable hours later.
Yeah, he said it. He said it would do it. Let's see. Oh my God. No, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. Oh my God. Ain't no way it just 3D printed this. Ain't. Oh my God, it's all in there. Oh my God. Ain't no way. Oh, it functions. Oh, dude. 3D printing is lit. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's go mag dump in the trash. What's going on, guys? Real Legends TV here, back with the first video of 2025. Now, if you tell by the beginning, we're going to talk about 3D printing today. And this is something that I have just recently gotten into. And so I wanted to go through today a couple of the cool things that I figured out and a couple of the struggles that I've been dealing with in trying to 3D print Second Amendment related items. Now, first off, I want to say I appreciate everybody who's remained subscribed to the channel. I know I've kind of taken a pretty long hiatus from YouTube. 2024 really wasn't my year, but hey, y'all don't care about that. I don't care about that. We're here to give y'all content, and so I just want to say appreciate all the subscribers that have remained on the channel. Hopefully y'all really enjoy the content that I'm going to put out this year. I'm really going to try to cut my teeth on the YouTube grind this year. I really feel like this channel has the capabilities of being great. So feel free at the end of this video, if you liked what I was talking about today, hit that like button, jump in the comment section. I'm actually going to ask y'all to stick around to the end because I'm going to ask a very important question and it's going to benefit y'all. Just depends on how y'all answer. So I'm going to need y'all to jump in the comment section at the end to answer the question. So just hang out to the end and, you'll hear what I'm asking about and see what y'all's answers are going to be. So 3D printing. All right, really cool stuff. Really has come into the Second Amendment world pretty hot and heavy over the last few years. It's something that I've always been interested in, but I didn't really dive into it because I had this understanding that it was kind of expensive. And this is one of the things that I learned very quickly. It's actually pretty affordable to get into 3D printing. All right, so you can get a 3D printer and all the tools that you need in order to start printing items for less than $500, depending. Now, of course, you can go real high end and get some really crazy printers. I mean, some insane printers for thousands and thousands of dollars. But the printer that I'm using, that runs on sale when you can find sales on it. They run about $350. Normally, they're about $450. So sub $500 class, you're getting yourself a really good printer that can do a lot of things. A couple of other things like a filament dryer, which that's going to take us into number 2 of crazy things that I learned when I started this 3D printing journey. Printer dryer or a filament dryer and a couple other little odds and ends things, little tools, little tricks that you'll learn along the way that you'll need in order to do this. Less than $500, around $500, you can be in it. But I brought up the filament dryer, and that's one of the interesting things that I learned very quickly, that even though you're printing with plastic and you're like, oh, well, how plastic, that doesn't get wet. Well, it actually does from what I learned. And I learned that the print quality depends on the moisture in the filament. And want that filament to be about 15% moisture. So you actually have to get a dryer or put it in your oven in order to print well. So you can have issues that come up from poor print quality. Oh, I don't bump the camera. Poor print quality from moisture, you could have things like this happen. All kinds of stringing and failure to bind, and just weird things happen to the filament. Because you got to think, this filament's being run through an extruder at like 300 degrees Celsius, over 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And so it's coming out really hot, and any moisture in there will boil off and do some really weird things to the filament. So that was a unique aspect that I had not thought about in the past. Number 3 is that it is not a plug and play hobby. Okay. I thought it was. I thought once you got everything set up, you just plug in a file into your printer and go. That's not the case. There's a couple of things that you've got to download and do in the program, settings and G code and all kinds of stuff that can be pretty daunting. But there's a lot of resources out there. So once you get that it's called a G code. Once you get that G code generated from what's called a slicer program, don't ask me why it's called this. I have no idea. I just work here, man. All right. Once you get that G code and you can upload it to the printer, then the printer will start to go. This brings us to the next point that is along the same lines of the plug and play. Not everything prints straight away. Okay. I tried to print this, which was supposed to be an FN57 frame that is completely an inert piece of plastic. It has no uses whatsoever. It is garbage at this point. But I tried to print it laying flat. It doesn't work for this design. It actually has to be turned 90 degrees up and then like 15 degrees rotated. So it prints like this. You got to have supports and all kinds of stuff underneath it. But I did not know that. And there are what's called README files on most designs online that you can go and see how exactly to print these. I did not do that, and I failed miserably. And then when I tried to do it, I was drying my filament, and I figured I would print something else, and I messed up big time and actually broke my printer. So I had what's called print shift, where instead of continuing along the same lines and printing here, printed over here, and then bumped the head, and then the head broke, and I stripped some wires, and now I gotta get parts for this thing. Frustrating. When you have a print failure, it fails, and there's no saving it. So that's unfortunate. The other thing, along with these print failures, is that there's a pretty big community out there of people who have had this crap happen, and they know how to fix it. It's a matter of finding them. Reddit forums, forum pages, asking questions. Sometimes you get some really good answers. Sometimes you get some just comments in there where they're like, oh, how'd you do that? I got the same printer and I've had no problems with it. It's frustrating. But to be fair, I have printed a number of other things, including some center alignment tools and printed a boat. So this is called a benchy. It's pretty cool. I have yet to see if it'll float, but that's on the agenda here soon. I don't know if it'll float or not, but we're going to find out. But going back to printing pews, there are, and this is something that I learned very quickly too, there are a lot of designs out there. I mean, thousands. If it's a firearm, chances are it's somewhere out there on the internet, a file to print it. FN57s, of course, your Glocks and your Rugers, Taurus. There's some Berettas out there. You could print an MP7, an MP5. It's actually pretty crazy. When you delve into the world of 3D printing, it's all out there. And you can get some really creative designs too. There's a Glock. They call it the Glong. It's a Glock that doubles as a bong. Now, I do not condone illicit activities. We're good, God-fearing, law-abiding citizens here. But, do with that information what you will. Now, one of the last things that I learned very quickly is that when you get into 3D printing, all the information is protected under the First Amendment and probably under the Fourth and Fifth Amendment as well. So that's pretty cool. So they can't stop the signal. I've heard that in the past, can't stop the signal, can't stop the signal. I never really understood that until now. And now I know this is going to be around for a long, long time. Now, I'm sure in the opening clip you saw, printed a whole, it's not that. You don't print a whole firearm, there's stuff you got to do. This was a joke and everything, so don't get your hopes up there. But you can do a lot of things. Parts kit and a printer, you can do some sweet stuff with it. And, yeah, nobody will be the wiser. So, now the last and final thing that I learned or piece of advice that I'm going to give you is you're going to mess up. Whenever you get into 3D printing, you're going to mess up. I messed up on this 3 times. I messed up on this once in a broken printer. It's about perseverance, all right? It's like anything. You've got to learn the skill. You've got to go through the motions. Once you go through the motions and you get used to the programming and how things have to be set up and the README files, you could do a lot of really cool stuff with it. And this is a minor setback for me. I'm going to get some parts and work on this thing. But it's not, like I said, it's not plug and play. And it's going to take some trial and error. You're going to have mistakes. You're going to have, rat's nests of filament because of a failed print, or you're going to have offsets in your prints and it's going to mess up. You're going to have these things happen. You've got to stay focused. You've got to stay dedicated to it, because, man, there is some cool stuff out there. And I really feel like as this becomes more prolific within the gun community, we're going to get to a point where companies aren't going to sell firearms. They may sell STL files of their designs and then sell parts kits, or just sell parts kits and put the files out there in the open market. Because it's getting to the point now where some of these folks using CAD, they can churn out some great products pretty quickly, put them in beta testing, get folks working on them, and it really has made it to where you kind of don't need to buy a whole firearm from a company anymore. It can be problematic with things like, I believe it's the FNs, 365s that have the serialized fire control group. So that kind of defeats the purpose, because you have a serialized fire control group. But you can print, if you have that fire control group, you can print multiple frames, different things for it, and just drop that fire control group in there. So, there's a lot to take away from 3D printing. Now, I appreciate y'all sticking to the end here. I hope that gave you a little bit of information to help you out, give you a little clarity on 3D printing, and maybe not make it so daunting, right? Like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because I'm not gonna lie, kind of retarded. But once you get into it, it's a lot of fun, and it is addicting. So what I want to ask y'all is, should I give away a printer? If I hit a subscriber milestone, we'll say 10,000 subscribers, should I give away a 3D printer to somebody? We'll do a big giveaway, and we'll give away a 3D printer ready for you to start printing all your fun stuff. Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. Drop it down. Let me know if you think I should. And yeah, let me know anything else in the comment section down below. If you're into 3D printing and you have some tips and tricks, or you have some things that you've learned, put it in the comment section down below. Let's start that conversation. I really appreciate y'all watching. We got some good stuff coming up. Y'all know the deal. Stay armed, stay safe. Keep your heads on a swivel. On a doom, met the want. Y'all be good. We'll see you in the next one.